Okay. My topic is something that I'm pretty concerned with, pretty passionate about. Um, and there's going to be leak over to any kind of relationship, but I'm going to talk about it um, in the perspective of a romantic relationship, right? So, just as a question, what are some things that you think cause people to get together romantically?
Well, when Dan and I got together, it was our like for guacamole.
One of my addictions is The Legend of Zelda. So whenever I'm in public and I see somebody with like a Zelda shirt on or something, I'm instantly drawn to them.
Yeah, those are both good answers. Physical attraction, commonalities, values. But how did you know that you and your husband both liked guacamole?
Funny question. So we were in a show together. That's how Dan and I first met, as we were in a show together. And we were working on building the set. And so we had gone out to eat during set build, like you do. And so we had gone to a Mexican restaurant. And he's like, "Did you want to split some cheese dip?" And this was the day we met. And I was like, "Oh, no, I'm allergic to cheese because I am." So naturally, I did not have any cheese dip. And then he said, "Well, what about guacamole?" And I was like, "I love guacamole. Okay, this may work." And then I don't know, we just really hit it off after that. Then he took away the power tools from me because apparently I was bad at using a drill that day. And he took them away from me and told me I wasn't allowed to use them. And then the director was like, you know you two have to kiss in the show, right?" And we're like, "Okay." And it just kind of all went from there. And then we got married. 2 years later, we got married.
I bet when he told you that you had a kiss in the show, you were just like, oh,
Yeah, I was like, "Oh
okay.
man, he's ugly," and
Then you just turn
like
around and walk
stupid
away with a
stuff,
giant
and
smile on your face.
everything, and I'm just like, "Yes! Oh my gosh, I get to kiss a hot guy for once."
Do you think I'm not trying to ruin your relationship or anything? Do you think there are other hot guys that like guacamole?
I'm sure there are other hot guys that like guacamole. I'm sure there are.
Yeah. I can honestly say that I've never tasted guacamole.
You've never
Yeah.
tasted. Well, if you come to MomoCon, then we'll go get guacamole. It's delicious.
It is good. It's good.
It's delicious.
So, my topic is the power of proximity. And proximity is something that most people don't think about, and that frustrates me a lot because they don't think about it. It influences them, and they don't realize it. Okay. So what I mean is that most people get together for one reason. Well, not for one reason. That's a lie. But the main force is proximity. They're proximal to each other. For instance, they're in a class with each other. They go to the same church. They're in a show together, etc., etc., etc. A good example is in video games. There's so many good examples of this. Every video game, the main characters, the romantic interests, their romantic interests for one reason because they're proximal. They're forced to be in a group together, right?
I
And
definitely see where you're going on this.
So you mean like just being close to someone, constantly spending time with them, you'll
Well,
begin
just
to
being in the
develop.
same place. I mean, just the fact that you're in the same area. I moved so many times, so I definitely that is one thing I will never take for granted is proximity. Just the idea of being able to be in the same place with somebody I like is always pretty great
Yeah.
because I've moved so many times. I've never gotten the whole proximity thing is kind of a big deal.
Yeah. A bit.
so why do I care about proximity? Because people kind of what I said before. People let it affect them, and they're not conscious of it. So they can't, for one, they can't use it to their advantage. And for two, they can't use it to their advantage. Just kidding. And two, they let it affect them.
Well, explain
and
how
they let it happen.
Explain how
it affects them.
What? How they can't use it to
How
their
it affects
advantage.
them? Okay, good point. Okay, so with the knowledge of the power of proximity in romantic relationships, you can take the step of becoming proximal to someone. And it might sound creepy, but it's really not. So if you like someone, you can end up in the same class, or someone that you like lives far away. Like, I'm not suggesting you move there, but to use proximity to your advantage, you would have to move there. Because if you don't do that, then proximity is being used against you. Because she or he is surrounded by people all the time. She or he has classes with people. She's proximal with people. So proximity is going on there, and you're not proximal. Yeah. And proximity isn't a guarantee that your relationship will work out. And that's one of the reasons it frustrates me the most, that people aren't conscious of it, because it's a huge factor in getting together. But you need a lot more to stay together. So a lot of people get in relationships, even get married, a huge part of that being proximity, and then realize the other things aren't there. And that's why I want people to get educated on it, so that they can stop falling into that trap and actually look for the person that they can have the best relationship with, not just the most convenient one.
I just definitely think I completely agree with you. And it goes along the lines of friendship as well, in the sense that because I moved a lot, there was no proximity with me with my friends. Because I would make friends and then I would leave them because, yay, moving. And it turns into a whole, and I mean, we were in high school, so naturally none of us think straight anyways. People would get really mad at me because I wasn't there when they would find out I was hanging out with somebody else and going, okay, you live 4 hours away from me. I can't really hang out with you. So I'm sorry, I'm making new friends. And it really made things weird. Because I didn't have like the built-in friends that a lot of people do, because I just didn't have anybody to be friends with. But the proximity thing is a big deal, and a lot of times people do take it for granted, especially when you have to start making an effort to see people. Like when I graduated college, a lot of my friends I didn't get to see as often because the shows that I would be in, that I was auditioning for, were pretty close to where I was going to school, and so I was already driving up that way to go to school. So it was nothing for me just to go to rehearsal because it was just like 15 minutes away. And then I graduated college. Well, first of all, I wasn't driving 45 minutes to school every day anymore. And then I was like, well, I'm not gonna audition for some show that's like an hour away. Just no. Especially when I didn't have a job yet or anything like that. I'm like, I cannot bring myself to do that. And so then all of a sudden, the proximity that I had with people was gone. And it was like, well, why don't I see you anymore? I'm like, well, we're not in rehearsal together. And that was just kind of a given. So that's one of the things I have to say. As much as I hated moving around all the time, it did allow me to see things a little bit differently than most people do. And I think that's a benefit.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would suggest, if you really want to use proximity to your advantage, getting stranded. What? This is directed towards everyone. If you want to use proximity to your advantage, try like plane wreck stranded on desert island. Perfect situation.
Sounds like some kind of a role-playing thing. I don't know. I might have to find the right costume for it.
For a past film project.
Well, it was a play, actually.
Alright.
It's a really bad stage adaptation of The Sting. We don't want to talk about the show itself.
Right.
good things came out of it.
Yeah.
And people were having bets about how long we would stay together because nobody thought we would last.
If you were given the opportunity to create a live-action adaptation of your favorite video game, what video game would it be, and who would you cast in it? Who would you pick?
Zelda.
And who would you pick to play as the actors or
Me.
actresses?
Me. That's who I would cast in it.
Yeah. You'd just be like Eddie Murphy, to where you play all the different parts.
No, I would be Malin. As much as I would love to be Zelda, I would be Malin.
Alright. But which game which game in the series would you take the story or the plot from, or would you try to make your own? And
Make
who
my
would
own.
Well, explain what your plot would be about, so we can steal your idea and go cash it in.
Okay, well, as long as I get to star in it, I'm fine. Well, in my version, Malin's gonna have a bigger part because I'm going to play Malin. But somewhere along the lines of Ocarina of Time, of that same sort of world, is definitely what I would want. I would want some hot, steamy Link and Zelda action going on.
Alright. So who would be some of the actors that, if it were to be a real movie, who would you want to be playing Link or Ganondorf, some of the main characters?
Trying to think. I think Emma Watson would make a really good Zelda. I could see her as Zelda. I want Alan Rickman in it just because I'm in love with him. Could I just pick actors I'm in love with and put them in the show?
He is the guy from Harry Potter and Dogma. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he could reprise a role similar to Harry Potter, to where he's like an old magician or something that
he can
teaches...
be the old man that gives Link the sword and says he can be like, it's dangerous to go, and I'm going to take this. That can be Alan Rickman. I don't care. Just put him in
Totally.
it. I just want to hear him talk.
Yeah, and then he's in random caves or random walls.
Yeah.
Throughout the game, and you're like, how did you get here? This was blocked off by a wall. And he's like, I don't know. Anyways, what about you, Simon?
Wait, I just have a question. Can Link take other people with him when he pulls this out? Like, if he had Zelda in his hand, could he be like, both of us are going into the future? Could he?
Yeah, I guess he could. I don't know why not.
Yeah. I would imagine it would
That'd be
be,
cool.
in that particular case, from Ocarina of Time, I would imagine it might be whoever's in contact with the sword, but the way it looks when the camera's circling around Link, there's the blue aura around the entire pedestal. So anyone that's in that little platform would probably be taken as well.
You know, my issue with Zelda in that, she could have gotten out anytime she wanted, and she did. And Link still had to go through all that crap.
That's true. She was testing him. She was testing him the whole time.
Yep.
That's what girls do.
More like playing him and being annoying. Yeah, that's my issue with her in that one. And she could unlock things. I mean, she could just escape, as Sheik made Link question his sexuality once Sheik came on. That could be a whole new topic right there. It's just Link and Sheik. What the hell was that?
Right.
That's interesting. Oh yeah. My topic. Oh, before my topic, a shout out to 3GI. Shrek is a great example of proximity power. Just throwing that out there. The movie.
Oh yeah, because they're stuck on the little quest with each other getting back.
Yeah. There you go.
Yep. There it is.
Yeah, my
but
niece
if I had
took
to
my
choose,
movie. I had Shrek and my niece took it.
I want to watch it. I haven't watched it in forever.
It's good. Too bad my niece took my copy of it.
All right.
Oh yeah. The video game that I would want to watch live action, probably Vandal Hearts. Have you ever heard of it?
What is
What
it?
game?
Valiant Hearts?
Vandal Hearts.
Oh.
It was for the PS1.
I don't guess I know that one.
Explain.
It was one of the first tactic games for the PS1, I guess. It was super good. Super good. I loved it. It's one of my favorite games to this day. But it's got a great story, and I'd like to see it live.
Well,
action
what's the
movie.
plot of the game?
The plot of the game. Let me think. It's been a while since I've played it, but I know it's just great because I've played it multiple times.
Right.
Well, there's a civil war.
Yeah.
Man, YouTube the intro, the intro to Vandal Hearts.
Yeah.
Because like, it's a great story. But
Do
anyway,
people vandalize hearts? Or are there hearts that are vandals?
there could be spray paint involved.
I think there should be. Bunch
Maybe.
of vandals. I'm imagining a bunch of hearts spray painting and vandalizing things right now.
Yeah, a bunch of little punk kids running around spray painting hearts.
Yeah, that's about it. That's
Anyway.
the game.
Yeah.
No, but
I think the sequel was God, I can't even do the joke right because I can't think of the name
Valiant
of the game.
Hearts 2?
No, that Mickey Mouse game.
Kingdom Hearts?
No, where he has the paintbrush.
Oh, Epic Mickey.
Yeah.
Epic, yeah. That's fun.
You know, that is a good game. But I never finished it because it would get like really dark and I was having a hard time seeing everything.
Right.
That and I got really thrown off because I'm used to the layout of Disney World, not Disneyland, and I'm like getting mad going, no, this is in the wrong place. And then I realized, oh, it's Disneyland, not Disney World.
Alright. Yeah. Who would be some of the actors that you would want to play in the movie as the
Me.
Well, I'm just gonna have to go off of Amanda. She can play her husband. No, I'm gonna have to use her theory. Yeah, Amanda's gonna play her husband, who was, I didn't know if you knew, but he was a character in Vandal Hearts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He never received the royalty checks for the use of his likeness.
Well, he actually did. You might want to talk about that together privately.
So that's how we were able to buy those annual passes for Disney World.
That sounds awesome.
But throwing some actors in that I would like.
Yeah.
Right now. Sorry.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I say the actors that you would want in there because there's really good actors that I like.
Yeah.
But even if they look similar to the way that the person from the game is supposed to look, I still couldn't see them as playing the person. I don't know, the guy that played Hellboy. What's it? I can't think of his name right now, but I'm not a huge fan of him. I like him a little bit. There's a few movies that he's in that I like. I don't know anything else that he's been in aside from Hellboy and Drive and maybe something else. But I think he could pull off a Ganondorf, for instance. Even though I'm not a huge fan of him, I think he would be kind of perfect for that role. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so that's why I say it, because I'm a huge fan of Tobey Maguire, but if they casted him as Link, that would be awful.
Yeah. Some people that I'm thinking of who I actually think might work. Emma Stone, because I have a huge crush on her.
I love her. She's so amazing.
Natalie Portman.
I love her too. She's so amazing.
Ellen Page.
Oh, she's a really good actress.
Olivia Wilde, I think would go.
Oh, she's cool.
And then for the men, I'm thinking Hugh Jackman.
Yay, I love him.
Probably Robert Downey Jr. would probably go for one. Gandalf. I can't think of his name.
The guy that plays Gandalf.
Yeah.
Ian McKellen?
Yeah, that's the one.
Patrick Stewart's buddy.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart's buddy. He would be good. And probably Grant.
Alright.
Or Orion.
Yeah. I think even though it was comical, Grant's version of Link in the parody video was actually kind of cool. Because it wasn't taking itself serious, because it was a comedy making fun of the two series. But, like, he did a really good job, I think. Especially for, like, a lot of the videos that you see that just come on YouTube. They have really poor acting, to where it kind of sounds like they're reading the lines or they haven't memorized it very well. And, like, all of his videos, even though, like, the ideal or the concept of them is really ridiculous, because they try putting the most random things they can think of into a video. But all the acting in the videos are really good. And then I've watched some of the videos that Orion played in, and even though he didn't speak in the Link video, he speaks in some of the other videos that Oliver made, and he does really good in it as well. I'm interested to see if Amanda is really good in her role.
Challenge. Oh.
Yeah, it sounds like a challenge right there.
No.
Have you seen VGHS, Video Game High School?
I have seen one episode.
I really enjoyed.
It's pretty cool.
It's cool. The director of that series, or the producer, they're going to be host or one of the hosts at E3 with Kinda Funny.
Oh really? I didn't know they were doing a thing at E3.
They're you know the website GameSpot?
Yeah.
Okay, what they do is, for the past few years, they usually have one panel, but then as they started getting popular, they started to have two panels that were basically both doing sort of the same thing. And because some of the panels would end up taking place at the same time, it was like they were basically competing with themselves. So what they did was they are getting Kinda Funny to host their second panel. So while they do all of the breaking news and stuff on the GameSpot panel, the second GameSpot panel with Kinda Funny, they're just getting like after the developers and everyone shows off their game and first announce it, they'll come on the second panel and they'll just talk about random stuff. Like they'll talk a little bit about the games, but it'll just be like what other games they're interested in that's there, and it won't be so dedicated to what they're trying to promote, because everybody's going to be promoting everything, so they're doing what they do on their normal YouTube. And one of the guys that they're getting to host is Cisco, the singer of that
like Thong Song dude?
Yeah.
Brings me back to middle school.
Yeah, he's they're getting him to be one of the hosts, and what they're doing is they're giving him a pass for E3, and they're just having him run out, play different games, and then come back and talk about it.
Oh, I hope I run into him.
Yeah.
That would make my day.
So, cause like it turned out he was a big fan of the podcast, Greg's podcast. So he asked to do something, and then at E3, that's what they're going to do. Like, they're going to interview him, I'm sure, but after that, they're just going to hand him a pass for E3, and he's just going to go like back and forth playing games at different booths, and after he finds something he likes, he'll play it for a while, come back, tell them about it, and then they'll send him off again to find something else. And
I like
it. Yeah. But anyways, my video game that I would like to see is as much as I would love to see Zelda as a movie, I think Final Fantasy X has the best story of any video game ever.
Is it going to have the Titus laugh?
Maybe.
It needs the Titus laugh.
Can you
No.
do an
So
example
horrific
for
and so
us?
wonderful at the same time.
Are you familiar with the game, Simon?
That's the only Final Fantasy that I actually finished.
All right. Because
Although I've played most of them.
10-2 ruined the story, but 10 was awesome because
It was awesome.
I played all of 10 and it was just a really great story, and then I played 10-2, and I know there's different endings in the game depending on how much you complete, but the ending that I got was, if I'm remembering it correct, he has a look-alike doppelganger that's like his great 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 grandson or something like that. And he is basically evil or possessed or something, and he tries destroying the world. And then you go around the game and there's people that's like, oh, I seen him at this place or something, so you're searching around the world trying to find Titus. And then it turns out it's not even Titus, that he died like 100 years ago or whenever Spira was destroyed. But this person is his great something, and he's evil. Yeah. That's what I remember from it. But throwing that to the side, the first Final Fantasy X, I think would be the perfect movie, because there's been other Final Fantasy movies like Advent Children and then
Spirit
Within. Yeah.
Like
And I think a live action version of that would be amazing, especially with the technology that they have today. They could do a 3D or a CG version of Sin, and just fighting a monster that size, because he's like a mile long, would just be ridiculous, and I would love to see it on a movie. You'd have all the airships flying back and forth, so everybody that's into special effects would have that. But then, not only would it have great action and a great story, and then the love connection between Yuna and Titus, but it has a really great story. So, yeah. And as
that would be
for
good.
The main actor, I have no idea who I would want to play Titus. I think actually Orion kind of resembles him,
I could see that.
and I think I'm gonna have to go with Simon's answer on this and say Emma Stone could make a good Yuna. And
Yeah, she would.
Lulu could be played as Olivia Wilde, because she has the dark hair and everything. And I think, I can't remember his name, but the blue beast guy that's in your party, I think could be played by Hugh Jackman. No, yeah, he could either play the blue beast guy or I can't remember his name, but
Waka?
no, he used to be a friend of Titus's, or not Titus, but Yuna's dad's bodyguard.
Orin?
Yeah, Orin. Yeah, I think Hugh Jackman could play him really well.
Who would I play? I'm
Who would you-
casting myself in it too.
Riku.
Okay.
Yeah, that works.
Oh,
really
then I
well.
get to wear the cute little shorts.
Yeah,
She's Misty.
because her outfit almost looks like Misty's,
Yeah.
so it looks like
I
a
would be
really,
okay with that.
a really crafty Misty. I mean, you would be really weak compared to the other people, but
I don't care.
You get better.
Yeah. Unless they used you as their main character and just leveled you up completely.
I'm
Yeah,
just
well,
happy
they-
to be in it.
Yeah.
It could take
And
you
then,
on the Orin track.
Simon could be, oh god, the guy with the ball.
Yeah, Waka.
Yeah. You could put a headband on and kind of spike your hair a little bit.
I would be cool with that.
So Amanda, what do you have there?
Goomy.
Awesome. What's he or she from?
Pokemon.
Alright. What generation?
The latest one, X and Y. It's a dragon type, evolves into Goodra.
That doesn't look like a dragon, but
I know. Well, once he becomes a Goodra, then he's gonna look more like a dragon.
it looks almost
Yes,
like
this is Goomy.
baby Agumon.
I think he's adorable. He goes,
Yeah.
Goomy.
Yeah, but I think he resembles a baby Agumon from Digimon, the little dragon dinosaur Digimon.
You know, I never got into Digimon.
Well, you suck. Because
You swallow.
it was the best cartoon on TV.
Yeah. I really like Digimon. I have the Digivices. Still do.
Yeah. They had the second series, which was like a future version, which had his little sister and the other person. And then the movie was really cool because it took place over both generations with what was his name? Diaboromon, I think. I don't know. Like, I remember that scene though, because it had Omnimon and like his attacks was like uh, Cable Crusher or something. It was an awesome series. But anyways, thank you guys for being on tonight, especially since we had the one yesterday.
Yeah. Sounds like if a cinnamon bun was made into like a dragon or a mythical beast, it would be a Goodra probably. That's all I got.